Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday afternoon with the Grand Boulevard Coalition Hour, or half an hour. And we're talking about drug-free communities and supporting the Bronzeville area. My name is William Penn. I am the president of Grand Boulevard Coalition, and welcome to another week. I got some feedback last week of people was asking why was I not here last week and why did we rerun the first show. And I just want to let you guys know that I was away at the mid-year training for CACA. And I'm going to talk about that in a section. But as usual, I'd like to start off my week by thanking everybody who's out there in the audience today. And I'd like to thank my coalition partners, Ms. Taylor, who's my youth peer leader, Ms. Culverson, the Vice President of Institute of Positive Living, Ms. Richards, Secretary, Haymarket Institute, and my good friends over at Haymarket Institute. Larry over at the Grant Department of 35th Street Police Precinct. Ms. Hamilton, Executive Director of Center for a New Horizon. Mark Wallace, Executive Director of Bronzeville Newsletter. Mr. Cook, President of the Bronzeville Community Clubhouse. Ms. Haynes, Greater Harvest Church. Isaiah Walton from Recovery 2000. Lakita Johnson, my parent volunteer, and my person that keeps me in line. Mr. Boone, who I just was with over at Laurie Hospital, and our wonderful Alderman Pat Dow. So welcome. As I was saying, last week we did a rerun of the first show, and we got a lot of feedback about people interested in maybe being part of the coalition and doing different things. But I was in Dallas, and I was at, if you guys can see that, the 18th Annual Mid-Year Training Institute, Transforming Communities, the Power of Prevention. And that particular conference was giving us the opportunity to spend time with the federal government and other people around the country and other coalitions and finding out exactly what they do to achieve certain prevention goals. Our goal in our PAC is to prevent you from utilizing alcohol, first off, but we also have been expanding into vaping, other drugs, cigarette smoking, and my personal passion, opioid, misuse of opioids. And so last week, for a whole week from Sunday to Thursday, every single day they had workshops that we went in and find out about the best kept practices that people are doing around the country. It was very uplifting, very rewarding, and I hope to bring in the next couple of weeks some of the wonderful things that I've learned from that to this show and to Chicago. I also would like to showcase a little commercial break here. Let me see what we got. Oh my God, it's coming up real soon. We're having Safe and Peaceful Chicago, the Grand Boulevard Prevention Services calendar of events. As you guys already know, CAN TV tune in live every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. to see myself and various of different co-hosts or guests that I have. It looks like I'm going to be having some wonderful guests coming up soon. We also like everybody to know that Maddie Hunter will be having her back to school health and resource fair August 3rd. That's coming up really soon. I think it's a week from Saturday. So I will definitely make sure I'm here next Thursday, and I will make sure I remind you guys to come out for that. We also have a youth talk at that time, so I'm looking at any parents or any adults out there that have youth that they work with who want to come out and let them be heard. We would like to hear what they have to say. Coming up the following 3 days after that, National Night Out, August 6th. We will have a better location and everything set up for that. Right now, it looks like we're going to be doing it in conjunction with Washington Park and our good friends over at Laurie's and the I Got This campaign will be out bringing wonderful little trinkets to give to people. We also have our Sister Empowerment Circle coming up August 6th. So that particular week, we're just doing something almost every day. I'll have more information on that next Thursday, but look out for that. And we just got the approval from one of our sector partners that I didn't mention, For Any One Girl. They're having a mother and daughter paint circles at Washington Park. And if the weather continues to be as nice as it is, they'll try to do it outside. And so it's going to be a wonderful time. I'll have more information about that coming up next Thursday. But make sure you guys remember that. And all this information is on our Facebook page. And the last thing we have coming up, we have a couple other things, but the last thing we have that we have a date for on August 24th, Back to School Resource and Education Fair. And we will be doing an opioid safe community panel. So look forward to having all that wonderful stuff coming your way. And we hope that we will see you there. And again, as I always say, if you see me here and you see me there, please stop up and say hi and let me know you like the show or you hate the show or what I can do, or maybe you like to be a guest on the show. One of the things in last week and the week before, I put the call out for people who always complain and sit on the sideline to get off the sideline and come and be a part of what we're doing in the Grand Boulevard area. And so we're looking for a few more sector partners, and we're looking for some committee people. We still have our parent coordinator is currently getting ready to move up to the vice president of the organization and doing some wonderful speaking around the city. So we'll definitely be looking for a parent coordinator. We're looking for a fundraiser coordinator to help in our annual fundraiser that we normally do around the fourth quarter of each year. So those two positions are still available. Please reach out to us on Facebook, and we will definitely entertain whatever you have to say or what you could bring to the table. So let's get into our subject at hand this week. So when I was at the Mid-Year Training Institute, Transforming Communities, the Power of Prevention, one of the themes that came around mostly was how to get the whole community involved. Not just activists, not just concerned people, but the people who are sitting on the sidelines, the people who can utilize the help and maybe be afraid of asking for help or searching for help. And one of the things that I found out at this conference was getting people involved a lot of people are always trying to do the new modern thing. But one of the themes that came up throughout the conference was the grassroots effect. And if we were born in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, you know the grassroots effect is basically pounding the pavement, going door to door, shaking hands, talking to people, getting people to open their door and say, hey, welcome to the neighborhood, welcome to this community, this is what we're doing in the community. This is only going to be successful if you, the community, come out and support it. We're not asking that much time. We're not asking a lot of money. In some cases, we're not even asking for money. We're just asking for your free time for something to do, looking for something to do, to come out and tell us what you think and see where we can plus up what we're doing. Or all of a sudden, now you know your neighbors. So there was an emergency. Just like 2 weeks ago, we had a heat wave. And they asked people, we went around our building ringing doorbells and saying, hey, are you okay? You need water? You need anything? And that helped the city of Chicago, and that helped our neighbors to make sure we had no fatalities from the heat, which was a very wonderful thing. So that's basically the subject today. If you decide that might be something that you want to speak on or call in and say something, the number here to call live, because I am live today, is 312-738-1060. Again, 312-738-1060. Please call in and let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. I'd also like to take a quick minute out to give a shout out to our partner, Ann and Robert H. Laurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, and their coalition there, which is the PAACT. This is the final year on their I Got This campaign, and you might see them all around the city of Chicago. You not might, you will see them all around Chicago at different festivals and stuff, getting the message out that we as parents, because I am a parent also, we got this. We know how to talk to our youth about abstaining from alcohol use, abstaining from cigarettes. Now vaping is becoming a bigger concern, and cigarette smoking in general. And so just want to give them a thank you and a shout out for supporting our events that they'll be coming out to, and let them know that they got this and we got this. So if you see I got this on the bus or train, pull up the tagline and take a picture and send it out and let them know that you saw it. And if you remember that William Penn from Grand Boulevard Coalition told you all about it, I would appreciate that, to getting a shout out for myself. So what do you guys think about how we can get the community more involved? We have a hard time. People like to stay within their four walls, stay within the four walls of their home and not really come out. And we're not saying maybe come out and sit on the porch, which we know in some communities that might not be the safest thing to do, but then we know on the flip side, by doing that, there's more eyes out there, and so that will keep people from the ideal of not maybe doing something bad or doing something to hurt themselves or hurt others. And one of the things that we came up with was just to have, again, from a federal broader range, they're doing the night out. So National Night Out. It's almost like when they do in the fall where everybody to leave your porch light on. So I think that happened on that night, on National Night Out. Turn your porch light on. Come out, come to events in the neighborhoods. Most neighborhoods will be having little events and concerts and fireworks and different things. It just gives us a nice time to get together as a broader community and to have some fun and let people know, hey, I'm looking out for you and I believe in what you're doing and you hopefully believe in what I'm doing. And if you can exchange numbers and exchange information, if something goes down or something happens, we can share that information with the authorities and our first responders to be able to help and make sure whatever is going on and it's taken care of. And one of the good ways of you guys finding out about all the stuff that's going on is to, again, follow us on Facebook at Grand Boulevard Prevention Service. Come on over there. We have a calendar. We have all our events on there. We have a description on there. It's getting better and better as the week goes on because we have new youth that are coming and working with us to make sure that we're on top of how things are supposed to be done. And also, we do like Twitter. And so we now have a Twitter handle. It's at GB Coalition. And if you go there, you also can hear about and see about all the wonderful stuff that we're doing and the committees and so on and so forth. And I am just very sad that we're almost in the middle of summer and everything has been pointing back towards back to school. I know my children are not ready to go back to school, but what do we halfway through the summer and it seems like violence and crime and prevention has been a topic of discussion with our new mayor, and we see like things are, I'm hoping, getting better in the city of Chicago. What do you guys think? If things are getting better, are they getting worse? Are certain areas not getting better? I've expanded my reach from the Grand Boulevard Coalition, from Grand Boulevard. We're now partnering and doing stuff down in Washington Park, which is 55th, right off of 55th and Keene Drive in that wonderful big park. I actually got a history lesson last Tuesday on the history of the park and how many softball diamonds they have and cricket or one of the other sports. Unfortunately, I'm a tennis player, so I don't know. And I saw they have this big, wonderful, clean, underused pool outside. And I was wondering why the community is not getting out there and utilizing the pool. We have wonderful opportunities and wonderful things in our community, and it seems like a lot of the stuff are underutilized. And we marched and complained and talked to our aldermen and really worked on getting all these wonderful things in the community. And I'm hoping that we as a community is taking stock in that and actually utilizing some of the things that we have to offer in the community that we do have. And one of the things that we talked about a lot here is the next generation. As you know, as a community organizer, I work in the community. I work with CPS. I work on the high school level. I work within the grade school level. And we've been trying to work on how do we get the next leaders, the next grassroots people who are out there trying to make a difference, or our teens who maybe think they want to make a difference but don't know how. How do we capture those youth and get them out there to doing good things? And so one of the things that I've been reading that I want to share, that's a free pamphlet that I could definitely give you guys an update on our website, is Navigating the Teen Years. It's a booklet for parents to help navigate in raising healthy teens. But I found it very interesting that sometimes teens can actually read it, and it'll give them information on some of the good things and bad things that they should and should not be doing. So this is definitely a good book, and it basically goes back to the theme that I talk about all the time when I'm here. Not only do I tell people when you're walking down the street in the morning, when you get up and get out, is just to speak and say hi or nod your head. That let the person that's in front of you that's passing you know that you recognize them and that you want to let them know that they need to have a good day just like you're having a good day. But we need to really start talking to the parents who are out here and helping them being better parents or being astute parents. We don't want to I think they call us helicopter parents, where we hover over our kids and keep a really close eye on everything they're doing and not really letting them have freedom to get out there and maybe make mistakes. But the stakes are so high these days that not giving them the opportunity to fail or to make a mistake might be good, because the mistake might be one that could be as severe as being hospitalized to being thrown in jail to actually dying. So sometimes being a helicopter parent, that's what my kids call me, it's sometimes I think is good. I mean, they have reached age of their early 20s and late teens, and so far so good, knock on wood. They're in school, they're in college, they're finishing colleges, and they're doing real good. And so I'd like to know what parents out there are doing, some of the good things that they're doing with their children that we can share with others. Let's see what else is on my agenda today. So one of the questions that came back from our previous show was, how does community organization play a role in the community? And that was like a really mind-blowing question, because what a lot of community organizers are trying to do is they go out, they see a problem, they write for a grant, and then they get the money, and then they need to take that money to help alleviate, solve, or nurture people to get them out of that problem. And so as a community organizer with the Grand Boulevard Coalition, we saw a need that even though alcohol use among youth was down, we saw a need of educating the future youth who are now going into high school, who are going into college, especially the ones who are leaving high school going to college and maybe never had we hope they never had a taste of alcohol, but now that they're at college and they're away from their parents or their guardians or whoever is raising them, and now a 21-year-old might be offering them a beer or something because they're now at a party or a fraternity party or sorority party, and then they're on the spot. And I know when I came up through school, I didn't know anything about alcohol until I got to college, and I actually had my first couple of drinks at a fraternity party, which I was looking at pledging. And I almost died that night because I hit my head on the toilet because I was doing things that you wasn't supposed to be doing that I didn't know you was going to do when you get drunk. And I think I still have the hangover from that. So I've learned from that my parents didn't teach me about alcohol drinking. So that's one of the things that the GBC, Grand Boulevard Coalition, was trying to do, is we do educational programming in our area to teach kids about alcohol use and how to spot people who are using, or even how to be a friend, how to be a provider of help that somebody might be utilizing one of their friends or another youth in their age range, and how to maybe help them get some help if they feel like it's out of control. Show them, which we were talking today with Lollapalooza coming up. There's always a spike in Chicago of underage drinking during Lollapalooza. And I found out, which was amazing or funny, I kind of knew about it, was the kids are coming in from the suburbs, they're coming in from other places, but they're children. They're 18, 19, and 20, and they're 16. I mean, you can be as young as 16 now to go to Lollapalooza. And parents are getting them hotel rooms to come in and stay in the city for 4 days. And the parents drop them off on day one and pick them up 4 days later. And it was a spike. Normally, out of 100%, if you figure 2% each weekend, they might see in any of the normal hospitals downtown intoxication or alcohol abuse, and the child or the youth have to come to the emergency room for that. During Lollapalooza weekend, that spiked all the way up to 12%. And they were trying to figure out why. And then we know why, because of the alcohol use. But the youth are just going and they're just getting drunk and they're hopefully enjoying the music. And we now have to put extra resources into mining these children while they're out here at the concert. So I said to myself, well, this is what Grand Boulevard Coalition is doing. We're teaching education. And somehow we need to write for grants, or maybe to go to our aldermen or go to the organizers of Lollapalooza to have them put some money in where we can have youth ambassadors for future concerts like this, to they're walking around with water and making sure they getting the word out there that you can have fun without being drunk, without drinking. And so those are one of the initiatives that we're looking at trying to enact in the next couple of years to help squash that and dip that 12% and bring it back down to a more manageable number, and showing our youth here in the city of Chicago as ambassadors for this type of stuff to the world and to the youth that are coming in from around the country and the world, that we, as the theme said, we got this, but letting them know that partying, having fun doesn't have to equate to getting drunk, doing drugs, vaping, and so on and so forth. So that was one of the main things that we had in the meeting earlier today that I just ran over here from, over at Laurie's, on how we can put together a coalition and put together some youth ambassadors to go ahead and do that. So one of the things that we was talking about, and I've been troubling with, and when I went down to the event last week down in Dallas, was having a better community buzz, how to get our youth more involved. Our youth are more involved with their cell phones and social media than they are being activists or being out there and talking to others and just really kind of being on the firing lines in front of people that needs help and needs support. And I've been trying to trouble for the last 2 years in how to go about getting them more involved. I've been doing surveys. This past year I've been doing surveys in a couple of high schools and a couple of grade schools. I think I got some great youth involved in some programming and taking the lead, and I'm hoping that they become really good ambassadors for a drug-free community and really good ambassadors just in general and leaders, so when they leave our community, go off to college, to HBCUs and whatever college or junior college or whatever program they go to, that they go in there with the mindset that they're already leaders, they can take on what they're doing, and then they can prosper on the other side. So when they're done and get their degrees and come back to Chicago and come back to their communities, they can showcase to the younger brothers and sisters and to the younger youth in the community that they can look up to and say, hey, I was here like you, and now I have my degree, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. And you can do that too. And you can do that by leading. And so they're giving me the wrap up. And I guess I just was talking and having so much fun. I didn't know my time has gone so fast. Again, if you see anything that you want to see again or anything that you want to talk about, please take the number down, 312-738-1060. Hit me over on Facebook or Twitter. Leave a question there, and then when I come in like I did this week, next week, I will definitely answer your question. I'll make sure our calendar is up to date on the website, and I will have all those wonderful events that we have coming up ready for you. So just to let you know, I'm here on Thursday, and next National Night Out is the following week on August 6th. So everything we got coming up is going to be happening after next Thursday, so I'll make sure we're there. And I would like to sign off by saying have a very good and safe week. Thank you.